Hey, yo, what is good, you guys, ladies and gentlemen? I've been away for about 3 days, but I'm back. And we're continuing the grind in NBA Live Mobile with, of course, the hard summer break in Chicago with Margaret Hiding Lynn. Yo, the grind has been wonderful. But I'm not just here to talk about NBA Live Mobile. As you see, my upgraded 94 Bernard King. My team has came a long way. Yeah, we killing the circuit. We're gonna just go hard and do our thing. But man, love to you guys. But we're also here to talk about NBA Live 18, and yeah, the marketing wars are going to take place very soon. If you have not, if you've been unaware, the competitor has been placing uh, videos about, your potential commercial that will be coming out. Oh, the lag is real. Let's see if we can resolve this. Hopefully it could be resolved. I'm hoping that at some point it will be relieved, but this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. Let's see if he'll come around. But anyway, man, love to you guys. Yo, what's going on, A White? Man, love to you, man. I hope the lag gets better at some point. I think there is some high traffic in my house with the Wi-Fi, but it'll adjust. It'll adjust at some point. Anyway, we're going to continue the conversation. Um, yeah, the marketing wars will start very soon. If you're unaware, NBA 2K, the competitor has been putting out little screen, videos and hints about their commercial that's coming out very soon. Um, and just as I suspected, they are using NBA players to talk about, let's say, their brand. This lag right here, if it does not improve, I might have to restart the stream. Just real talk here. Dwight Howard right there. Oh, got blocked? Something of the sort? Okay. Yep. He says you can't get no good players, man. Keep grinding. It's gonna come around eventually. Real talk. All right. I mean, they'll come. Trust me, they'll come. Let me see if I can go down straight down the middle here. Just take advantage of that. Beautiful. Yeah, this lag is really real. But anyway, um, and just as I suspected, the competitor will use everything they can to counter what NBA Live has done. So, and this is what I initially thought would happen, where EA utilized game changers to bring out their brand. 2K is just going to use NBA players to bring out their brand. And we're going to see how things are going to, transpire as it relates to marketing. Now, remember, marketing and the way the game plays are two totally different things, for sure. Oh my gosh, this is literally unplayable at this point. I don't know if I can continue to stream like this under this magnitude. Let's see if it works out. If not, I might have to end the stream. It said you wish they would let us lock the stick. Well, I mean, there's various ways to, implement control in this game. Oh man, this is very, very bad here. Let's see here. It look like it might get better. It's real shifty. Don't know. Uh, yeah, this is kind of unplayable here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it might get any better here. I probably should have previewed the stream here. What's going on, old man baller? Yo, I might reset the stream, and because this lag right here is very, very bad here. I think the traffic in my Wi-Fi right now. I think everybody's using the Wi-Fi. Um, let's see here. Do a cross here. Put them on skates. Nope. Do a little fader, a layup, ring around the rosy. That's a nice looking layup animation there. What's going on, Curry? Matt, love to y'all. I was gonna talk to you guys about some of the marketing anticipations that's going to take place for the brands very soon. 2K has been doing their photo shoots of their product. They're currently working on their commercial, and we're going to see how this marketing war is going to take place between the brands. You know, I will say this about the competitor: their marketing is outstanding, but that's because they are willing to invest such a significant amount of money, which has always been a practice for Visual Concepts. They're not afraid to spend whatever they have to spend to get their product out there. That's because 2K's Visual Concepts, as far as it relates to Lifeline, really comes down to two products. And let me just get down to the comments here, which is GTA, which is not an annual release, and of course the annual product, which is their meat and potatoes as it relates to profitability, which is of course 2K, because that's their game that they need to do well. annually for that company to survive on a whole nother level. And I've been saying that since Live 15. And a lot of people trolled me for that because a lot of people don't consider the company aspect of gaming. They don't consider the business side of things, and you have to consider the business side of things as it relates between these two companies. Now, although Visual Concepts make a very superior basketball simulation, EA as a whole is just very superior in gaming all around. And they're desperately trying to reconfigure and reconstruct how they execute business with their community, and that's why you see NBA Live having the freedom to take risk on so many different levels. That's because they have the freedom financially to make mistakes and to make error and to endure losses. That's because they're just a juggernaut of a company. So when you look at the situation realistically between these companies as it relates to simulation gaming, EA is superior. It's just that for now, Visual Concepts is superior with their title in making, first of all, a basketball simulation in their 2K application and in making sustainable games as far as it relates to GTA. And of course, they have other brands as well, but they're not successful annual brands. Whereas EA Sports and EA itself have very successful annual brands that come out every year that generates a high level of income for them. But let me go back to the comments so I can talk to you. I do apologize for the lag here. Let me know if it's unbearable, because if it is, I might just have to reconfigure the stream and just start it over. But for the most part, I'm playing fairly well. This can cause me to lose a couple of games, I will say that. But let me see what you guys are talking about. Okay, think it's the phone. Is it fast? No, the phone. Nah, the phone right now is not the problem. The problem is right now. I think my bandwidth may be a little limited because I know my son is using his Wi-Fi because he's playing his game wirelessly, and I have a guest here that is playing, not playing, but she's on her laptop, and I'm sure she's utilizing the wireless feature, and I believe my wife may be on her phone as well using some wireless bandwidth, and then I'm on my phone trying to stream a game. So I think the bandwidth, even though it's functioning average here, mediocre, in a mediocre way, I think is being strained for the moment, but that's okay. They've been doing their body scans, showing the rookie scans. Exactly. I mean, can you see NBA through the Lakers to the Wolves opening night? I mean, you mean? I can't answer that. Do you mean NBA Live? Is that what you mean, Curry? Like, try to rephrase the question because I don't understand. I can't understand that question, but I'll come back to that. Philly says, "Swag, know what the show." You know what they should do is get some marketing advice on the Conor McGregor and Floyd fight. They would give them mass exposure. Now, see, that's the beauty of what I call negative publicity. Now, this is what NBA Live is doing. Now, I will say this. NBA Live does very well on triggering a community response. They might not do well in regards to sales. First of all, because the product has such a low reputation. But second of all, that's because I think they don't have, they have severe restrictions and limitations as to what they can spend as it relates to marketing that game. So they all have a budget. But if they had free range to really like get this game pounded in marketing, believe me, they can swallow the market if they wanted to. And that's a nice block there. We see a little bit more freedom coming along. If they could swallow the market if they wanted to, depending on how much they're willing to invest in marketing. And that's all it is. Like these NBA players that are coming out talking in regards to 2K, they're getting paid. Now, don't think that this is an expense-free endeavor. No, you have to negotiate with these players, negotiate with these teams, these leagues that you're, not necessarily teams, but, colleges and everything else of the sort. And you got to dish out the wallet to broadcast it, to put it in your title, and to legitimately, market it. So NBA Live, because of their inability to generate capital, to generate revenue, has a severe budget. Because what you don't want to do is put a lot of investment in marketing just to generate those losses or not even get it back in return. Um, with the way your product sells. So, but a lot of the thing about marketing is it is a risk all the time. You just don't know what you're going to get back. You know what I mean? Yeah, I am pretty much stretched. Yo, Swag, are you still streaming through Mirror? Yeah, that mirroring app. Yes, I am, man. I'm sorry if I'm reading your comments late. Scheduled them versus Warriors on ring night from Oakland. They got the core fix. Would you say, Swag? I, I think so. Um, I mean, I don't know. I really need to hear you guys speak to me uh, on a personal level because some of your questions I just don't quite understand. But yeah, I am currently stressed right now. I hope next game it will free up. If not, then I'll see if I could continue to stream. Even Westby, even if I was to be on YouTube Gaming, because a lot of people are on their wireless apps right now, I am very stretched out. So, oh man, I missed a lot of opportunity there. Yeah, this is really bad. I'll still win this game, but yeah, this is pretty much hard to play. What's up, Iron Kool-Aid? Yeah, we in Chicago, man, and it's a lag fest right now. It's legitimately a lag fest. Let me see if I can free up some, bandwidth here by asking probably a couple people to kind of limit their Wi-Fi capacity. I'm trying to stream before I head in out to work because it's been a couple days since I've spoken to you guys. Let's see if we can get that going. So EA got more money than 2K. Exactly, and that's what I'm talking about. And this is why you'll see them go aggressive with their title. I'm going to talk about this soon because I've been saying this since Live 15. And a lot of people, when they bring up this point, they feel as if we're talking about that, we're downplaying visual concepts. No, we're not. Um, Visual concepts make outstanding video games. This is the truth of the matter. That there's no denying that. Okay. However, they don't have enough annual titles that would help them generate, the same amount of monetary revenue that EA makes on an annual basis. Um, but this is where EA is trying to improve, and this is why I kind of really appreciate the fact that they're not seeking to take advantage of their market yet. And that's because they have to start focusing on developing high qualitative games. I just took a shot with Dwight Howard and wet it. They have to start focusing on developing high quality games. Now, when I say that, the reason why 2K eventually overthrew EA was, first of all, EA, they got a little bit lazy in the way they made their basketball video games. They kind of did what 2K is doing now, which is odd, because they were overconfident in their arena of competition. They fail at times to really innovate their game. And when innovation did come through with Live 09 and Live 10, 2K had already placed a stamp in the basketball gaming community because although NBA Live were the number one selling brand, for a very long time, 2K was evaluated as the brand that had the best quality game. Now that's the difference. You know what I mean? So that's one thing we have to consider, that although um, NBA Live outsold them, for many years, I say 4 years. I think after 2K8, people believed that 2K had the higher quality game, and that quality evaluation in the community eventually led to more sales. So that's the consideration there. And I think this is where EA is trying to capitalize here. I think the focus this year should not be on sales. More so, it should be focusing on quality. And I hope EA considers that, because if you look at numbers to justify how good your game is, then you will be misled. You will be misled. You would be misguided in your evaluation as to what a good game is. Because I think one of the mistakes that occurred with EA, especially when they had Mike Wang in their wings with NBA O Live and NBA Live 10, is they looked at sales instead of looking at quality. And to be honest, NBA Live 09 and NBA Live 10 were two of the highest qualitative basketball video games they've ever created. And because they were looking at sales and they panicked because they were so used to being the number one, you know, basketball gaming company, that flagship, they had ownership of that. They felt like they had to revamp their system, and this was highly erroneous. This was not a very good assessment for them as a company. So, they went into panic mode. They ended up restructuring, reconfiguring the way they did business, which will eventually be beneficial for them. It's just that it took a lot of year of losses for them to endure this. And now they're in the process of recovery, because they had to make changes to compete on the mobile space, and this is what you see here now. It just took a lot of time for them to generate this area of credibility, um, and to get to this level of profit. So that's where it is, right now at the current moment. But I think now EA is learning that in order for them to remain profitable, now we get in a little bit of a flow here, to remain profitable as a company in the future, they have to invest in developing higher qualitative games. They have to invest in that. They have to start looking at not just sales, but making sure that the quality of the game that they're producing is matches how the game is sold. Because now EA cannot just focus on reputation alone. And I'm gonna get to your comments in a second because I'm preaching. But EA just cannot focus on quality on their name alone, to sell their products. Because now gamers have a higher demand as to what they expect from for their titles, what they expect from their games. And EA now has to be well in tune with their community. Shout out to Andrew Wilson for understanding this element of business. That the customer is right, and you have to cater the gaming experience to the customers that you serve. And I think that's what NBA Live 18 will be the first of. Will be the first innovative way for them to really evaluate how the community can help them construct and build a high qualitative basketball game and experience. Okay, even though this was true for Live 14, 15, and 16, they really listened to those who played the game on a daily basis for Live 18, and this is why I'm hoping that NBA Live 18 does well, because it will justify the community that helps support the build of this title. If you guys do not understand how significant your input was during the time of its development, then you're sadly mistaken. I got a lot of collectibles here. We'll be using that for sure. Okay, now let's get to the comments. Unfortunately, it's not that easy to bring that feature back. I wish it could come back, which is the DNA. We understand that it is a challenge. And it forever will be a challenge, because a lot of features that existed in the last gen just simply will not. It just simply does not bounce over into the new area, into the next gen. So just because it existed in the old gen, just it doesn't mean that it will exist in the new gen console. So that's another consideration that we have to think about there. Are they playing a zone defense there? Oh, good block, nice. Yeah. So but Jordan cover on 11 helped 2K on sales, but not just that. Okay, it wasn't just Jordan. Now, Jordan did help tremendously in sales, but it helped get a lot of people onto the brand. And what 2K did was, they made sure, see, this is what I'm talking about. They made sure that as a result of them capitalizing on Michael Jordan, they made sure that the game itself was at a high level of quality. So, I mean, 2K11 to me was the best simulation basketball game ever created in basketball gaming history. And that's because the quality of the game matched the cover. See, you don't want to have a phenomenal cover athlete and then have a game that plays horribly. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why NBA Live has been very conservative with their cover athletes, because they know that cover athletes will, can influence the way a game is sold. But in order for them to go after a high level marquee athlete, they have to make sure that high level marquee athlete matches the way the game plays on the console. So I think what we have to recognize as consumers is when NBA Live, begins to sell well and the community begins to respond to the product as a result of customer satisfaction, then you'll see aggressive marketing tools. Then you'll see kind of the marketing aspects that we used to see in past titles as it relates to NBA Live. I mean, remember the Brothers of the Live movement, remembered NBA Live 2003. I think NBA Live 2003 was the pinnacle as to, you know, how influential that game was as it relates to marketing, because you had artists, who was on that soundtrack who made custom songs for NBA Live. A lot of people don't know that, and that's sad, like literally making custom songs for NBA Live, like Snoop Dogg, I think Chingy was out there and all that. So that shows what can happen once the game sells well, once the game is received well. And I think it's a good thing that the community holds this game to a high standard, because what they want is something that will appease the basketball gaming community and something they know will confirm sales. Once the sales go up as a result of community satisfaction, like I said before, then the marketing will improve tremendously as well. I think we hold them to a high level of marketing because we're impatient with them. We want them to compete. We want them to fight. But they have to be realistic as well. So they have to evaluate what they're selling. They have to be careful as to what they project out into the public. Because you do not need a repeat of NBA Live 16. Let me get back to the comments in a second. You see, there goes that idea. I agree. The NBA Live name doesn't carry the weight it used to carry anymore. That's very true. So now it's a profound opportunity for EA to redefine themselves. And redefinition is phenomenal. It could be a good thing. Now, it is very difficult to do. Rebuilding, reconfiguring, implementing a new infrastructure as to how you will, do business is a struggle. It's a fight. And that requires a lot of trial and error. But once they get it right, which I know they will, and I think a lot of people understand this, then you'll see NBA Live begin to step up, to the plate in more ways than one. It's just that I thought there were profound opportunities in marketing that should have took place this year. If you really, because I just hold, people to their standard based upon what they say. Andrew Wilson made it sound like he was serious about going after the market this year, which he has, which EA has exhibited by showing us a significant high volume of gameplay. I mean, large amounts of gameplay, And my man Wesby502 made a very good point this morning in the text message. We talk a lot, the Live Movement brothers. He said, although, all the other annual sporting brands of EA have, have their pre-order incentives, they have their cover athletes, NBA Live is the only brand that has shown gameplay. And that's a very, very good assessment, man. And that's why we need to have these conversations more often with my boy, because he brings up very good points. So I'm gonna hold a community insight, and hopefully he can come in and speak his mind, because that's a very good point. Although there are pre-order incentives for FIFA, Madden, NHL hockey, whatever sporting brand they create, or whatever other game they are making, NBA Live has been the one that has showed us the highest level of transparency between the brands, including Madden, which is highly anticipated as well. So that, you have to consider the good and the bad when it comes down to this game. You know what I mean? They need to act like they believe in their game. Well, see, they're being conservative this time around, Philly, because I don't know. I was shocked by how confident they were with NBA Live 16. Like, I was a bit nervous for them. I'm like, I know your demo trailer was really good. It was fire, but man, you and they would and let's just keep it real. They were taking shots at the competitor, talking about their SP versus VC conversation, and I was all in. I'm like, yeah, you do not have the capacity to buy your skill. You have to work for it. You cannot go out there and buy a jump shot or buy a dribble package. You have to, earn it through the SP model, which was phenomenal, right? But, you can't be overconfident in the game. And then when you release the demo, you have items there that was just poorly executed, incomplete, misrepresented, misrepresented it. Your gameplay was so arcade. I mean, oh my God, I'm talking about downright 100% arcade. NBA Jam 5v5 Pro-Am had, those avatars dunking on 5 people underneath the basket, no physical contact in the paint. You know, Kristaps Porzingis looked like an alien from outer space. Jahlil Okafor looked like an Asian. I mean, there was just things that just need not to happen when that game came up. What's going on? Both sides was good, fam. So, having that consideration, they were very confident. I'm serious. When you look retrospectively on how that game was marketed, they were very confident in Live 16, and it was erroneous. It really was erroneous. I mean, that was the first game that actually had a commercial. Yeah, although it was only broadcasted on NBA TV, the runtime for that commercial was quite significant. Um, it ran well into the installment of Live 16. I think even up to the All-Star break, that commercial continued to run on NBA TV when the product was just overlooked already. So, yeah, that's almost time, my man. So, speaking on that magnitude, man, it's just I appreciate what they're doing now. Now, could they have done things better? Always. There's always things they could have done better. Always. I mean, but I appreciate where we are now with the game as far as evaluation and as far as being able to look at, you know, their progression of development and to be well in tune as to what we're getting ready to buy. There's no fluff. There is no misleading evaluation like it was in Live 14. And, to be honest, Live 16 was misleading because, they failed to inform us, the rookie faces are not in the game. Some players' face scans are not complete. They didn't tell us all of these things, You said laugh up at All-Star fam. I remember players didn't have torsos when 16 dropped. Yes, yeah, the invisible upper body I mean, bruh, the shirtless torso, they'll have their shorts, but the shirts were off, it was just crazy. You could see, and that game was so low in quality, and we're not even going to mention the online servers. And we were just mentioning this the other day when we were playing Pro-Am with Shop and everybody else, even the Brothers of the Live movement, man. I hope, well, we're just going to have to wait and see. That would be phenomenal if All-Star Weekend could be in the game. It looked like we're done here with that presentation. Let me see here. If not, I'll just switch over to head-to-head. Oh, we can go medium now, so that's done. Yeah, I mean, those bugs emphasized big errors, big errors. And I forgot to say that, oh, that's out of bounds. I forgot to say, yeah, we're so fortunate that a lot of people did not pick up the product because, which is NBA Live 16, that is, because, you thought that 2K16 or 2K17 servers were bad. I mean, the issues that were on the servers for Live 16 would have been heavily emphasized, more so. So it was a good thing that NBA Live 16 didn't do well, because the issues that are on that server were horrible. You see how they had the 3-point shootout and skills competition the moment for the All-Star promo? Yes, they did. It's coming back soon, man. That is a very good observation. That's right. Wow, that's a very good observation. Up the middle. Oh, good block. Good block. I'm going to try to throw lobs in this game. Seems like our internet is back. We're going up strong. This medium level team is giving me a little run right now. Did anyone notice the working shot clocks to Live 18? My man Ryan Parks did put a tweet out about the working shot clocks on the Drew League, in the Drew League, that is. And that is very, very good. That is a good sign. He brought it to attention. He said the shot clocks are working, and that is what we want to see. Because if you're going to have the Drew League in the game, there's no way you're going to have that game only go up to 21 without having structure of its gameplay, because the Drew League is one of the most popular Pro-Am leagues in the country, and that cannot be misrepresented by just games of 21. Nobody in the Drew League plays games of 21. They go out there and they run, baby, and that is 5v5 quarters, games, everything else of the sort. So that has to be there, and I hope that you can achieve what you wish to achieve in three different ways as it relates to how you build your character. And this is what I would like to go into, talk about as we go to the next topic, as we play in Brooklyn now. We're no longer playing in Chicago. The non-linear path in evaluations of the one. Now, when I say he had the backwards jump shot. That's right, Philly. When I say non-linear path, I mean the one has the capacity for you to reach your goal as a player on many different levels. Where you could do it on the streets, you could do it on the court. Oh, come on, you're supposed to catch that. When I say on the court, I mean in the league, and you could do it in the Pro-Am. Now, I think that you should have, multiple journeys to greatness, where you can decide to be a playground legend, or you could decide to be a Pro-Am legend, or you could decide to go for the cake and be an NBA legend. So those things are phenomenal. Yeah, you did see that retweet, Philly? Yes, sir. Lou Williams. Lou Williams was not the only one there this weekend, man. I should have. If I didn't have the podcast, I would have been there. You also had, Andre Drummond show up, Julius Randle show up, Nick Young, of course, represented. It was an NBA fest down there. It was an NBA fest. It was a really, really good time there in the Drew League this weekend. It'll be another 2 weeks before I'm off. Hopefully the playoffs will continue down there, and I'll be able to catch a few games and use my camera to record some footage if I can. I know it's licensed to Likey now because the Drew League's professional, but you know what it is. Oh, these games are only up to 7. That's good. We're closer to All-Star Weekend than what people think. Mobile is the testing ground. It'll be in console real soon. Imagine that. Yo, what's up, Prime? Welcome to my humble NBA Live mobile stream, man. I'm getting it in. We're grinding it out. Shout out to my man Prime for coming through. Had a great show last weekend on the NOVC talking about some of the marketing practices and evaluations of NBA Live 18. And yes, the marketing wars are underway. I mean, they're literally underway. 2K already gave hints of a commercial. And like I said in the beginning of the stream, where NBA Live use game changers to bring out their brand, 2K are going to use NBA players to bring out theirs. So, and that's just the war of marketing, and I welcome it. Hopefully, what I am most appreciative about this fact right now is that people are aware of NBA Live first, and that has not happened in a very, very, very long time. Look at that stamina, though. 44 for 30. I'm about to get it in, y'all. This stream's going to take a little while. Let's get it. What's the odds a roster customization patch comes for those wanting it? I only care about updated authentic rosters, but many want it. That's the thing that we have to consider. And that's why I believe there is no pre-order incentive as of yet, because based upon the community feedback of this demo presentation, and I continue to promote feedback from the community. I honestly believe that EA may take drastic steps in ensuring the quality of this game, because like I said before, I don't think this year the focus should be on sales, because if they focus on sales, it can be an adequate misrepresentation as to how good the product is. So you can't just focus on sales. It's very important that EA doesn't do this. You have to focus on the rating, the way your game is rated. You have to focus on that. You need a game that's going to be positively rated very well. even if it doesn't sell well, because this is how 2K, like I said before, and I know I'm being a broken record, this is how 2K eventually took the cake. Because for a very long time, NBA Live was the top selling brand, but 2K had the highest rating and quality. NBA Live now knows that there's a potential for them to, ooh, good block, to do that now because 2K kind of got lazy with the gas on the, with the foot on the pedal for good reason though, because NBA Live has not been producing a product, and this goes to show why we should support competition because if you allow 2K to survive without um without NBA Live, innovation will go super slow. The competitor will just recycle gameplay and styles, and they will not reconfigure or reconstruct that game. They'll just add one or two nuances here and there to make you believe that you're getting a brand new basketball gaming experience. And that's it. And we cannot have that as a basketball gaming community now. I mean, that's just one thing I care about deeply is, innovation. And the reason why I support EA is because they're fearless. They are fearless in experimentation. They are fearless in taking risks. And that's because they can afford it. You know what I'm saying? My man Prime says, well, sales won't be an issue. Swag, they will be fine, but the rating, like you said, will be evaluated for gameplay, and that alone, mainly, however, Live 18 is going to sell very well. That's what we need. Because when I look back, and I didn't like, how we do. You know how us NBA Live veterans do. When you look at research and you look at how NBA Live was presented to the community, um, with Live 14, you could tell that the focus was, yes, they did listen to the community, but the focus was looking at how the game was going to sell. And I think a lot of producers and everybody knew that the game was not going to do fairly well, but those ratings were just horrible. I mean, IGN rated NBA Live 14 at a 4.3, and IGN, who I think is purposely biased against NBA Live for some weird reason, I just feel that way. If you can get IGN to rate the game at least an 8 out of 10, I mean, imagine this. Now, I hate IGN, y'all. Okay, I hate IGN. Don't get it twisted. I don't support their rating systems at all for most games. Okay, and that goes deep. I mean, they push the game that they want to support. Now, that's just my opinion about IGN. But imagine if IGN had to swallow the pill and give NBA Live an 8 out of 10 rating. Like, imagine that. Imagine that, like, for real. That's the goal. That's the goal right there. That's what we should be seeking for right there. I mean, because then people be like, holy, excuse my language, holy damn, IGN just said this game is an 8 out of 10. I mean, we don't even need a 9 out of 10. Of course, they're going to rate 2K 10 out of 10 and all that other, beautiful nonsense. Not looking at how innovative the game is, not really looking at innovations in gameplay. They just, because NBA Live has been so poor through the years, they said, you know what, in comparison to NBA Live, this is a 10 out of 10. But 2K still will have their bugs in gameplay. Oh, this is a great sequence here. I love that. Those are the kind of sequences I need to see in Live 18. But anyway, that's what I will be looking for when the game come out. I'm not worried about sales. I hope Andrew Wilson and the EA developers and producers don't get discouraged by sales numbers, but I honestly still believe they will sell 1 million copies. But we need this game to be rated high in gameplay quality. That's the priority. So if they can establish the gameplay to have a high level of quality on that level, then we're going somewhere. Then the game can expand in more ways than one. Then they can, really build upon, innovating concepts in their game modes and investing more in their marketing. You're right, Prime. IGN is fickle as, they kiss, and they're not knowledgeable. They come across as knowledgeable because of the way they review their games. It is professionally done. It's their reputation. They've been around for quite some time. Everybody know who IGN is, kind of like how everybody know who 2K is. So because of that, they have a high level of credibility in the gaming community. But to me, they're not They're not that official, but I will be looking for their rating to see how biased they are. You could tell, look how they boost Destiny all year, right? They can literally push a game to do well. IGN is the same website that some of the recent Maddens, some of the said that one recent. Hold on, I'm just reading that all wrong. My bad. IGN was the same website that said that Madden was too realistic. What? See, that's what I'm talking about. Are they anti-EA or what? Like, for real, bro. Wow. Really? IGN is the same website that said one of recent Maddens was too realistic? Get out of here. If Operation Sports review it good, it's a wrap. Exact. And this is the focus. This is the focus. It needs to be a qualitative game first. It has to be that. Like, if you can get those reviews to come in on that level, as much as I hate them, and I don't agree with the review practices, if they could come in on that level, then I agree with you, A White. People will start buying the title. It still won't sell more than 2K, okay? But people will come in, and what you want is people to just come in and give it a shot and try it because they're hearing good things about it. And that's exactly what 2K did against NBA Live. Like, people were willing. Oh, look at that fadeaway hook. Get in there. People were willing to come in and give it a shot because of word of mouth and people saying it's a good game. And that's all we need right now from NBA Live. So as far as NBA Live being a 2K killer, no, that's not going to happen, okay? But as far as NBA Live being reviewed as a good basketball game for the first time in a long time, I mean a long time, this will be a monumental element of success for EA Sports, more so than sales. So let's remember that, people. Okay, those of you who are avid supporters of this game, NBA Live, don't focus on the numbers on sales because it could be misleading. Just because the game may not sell that well does not mean that the game cannot be rated high in its quality. And I think NBA Live 18 for sure is a high qualitative game, not just because of the significant improvements in gameplay, but also in the significant improvements in the depth of their modes and, some of their features. Now, they will nitpick on some of them, shortcomings. They will nitpick on that, and that's fine. But right now, when they usually rate the game, they look at the gameplay. Okay, so I would rather them troll EA for some of the features lacking than for them to troll them on gameplay, because that's been the case since 14, 15, and 16. They go hard on them on gameplay. They talk about some of the issues in gameplay. Oh, that's a good block. Oh, actually, I'm just throwing the ball away, and so forth. You feel me? Your review for games are just like the movies. You'd be like, huh? Right. Oh, he did block that. And do your own evaluations. But unfortunately, we live in a world that rely on the judgments of others to help determine the decisions that they're going to make for themselves. And that's just true. That's just really what happens. You said half of them reviewers don't even know how to play the game, and they only do initial impression reviews. Okay, they don't go deep into the game. They do initial impression reviews, and those initial impression reviews are most damning. They're the most damning. So we have to consider that. We have to remember that. So, I mean, that's what I am most excited to see is how the game is going to be rated. Now, like I said, I don't like these gaming rating companies because I feel as if, dude, that was supposed to go to Ben Simmons. I feel that they can be a bit biased at times, but now looking back retrospectively, their review of NBA Live 16 was fair because it was not fair as us as consumers to have those issues in that game. So, we just have to wait and see. But as far as marketing, like I said, I don't think this year they're really focusing on sales. They're focusing on developing a high qualitative game, and they're hoping as a result of that high quality, the game will sell. That's just the truth of the matter. Yeah, just try to give it a try and show, hey, that it's worth playing. And then, I like this better. Yeah, exactly. The type of gameplay 2K has elite covers. Exactly. Modes are good. Get rid of the rewind and add like Madden Draft Champions for live, which would be phenomenal. I'm interested to see how they're going to execute the demo presentation. We did talk about that in the NOVC podcast, and I think one way to really invigorate some type of pre-order incentive, once again, only if EA is confident in their product, because they're looking for quality, not for sales. This is just my theory here. They're looking for quality, not for sales. Because in order for your sales to do well in the years to come, you need a solid foundational base that says that your game is of good quality. And I hope that EA understands that. Because that's how 2K did it. And they need to just readopt that, because now the wheels has been reversed and you just have to reconfigure, rebuild, implant a new foundation of high qualitative gaming, so people can no longer talk poorly about your game on that magnitude. Because at the end of the day, like I said in the tweet, when Sean O'Brien wrote that letter to delay NBA Live, whoa, I thought I made that shot. It's not about sales, it's about basketball. You have to focus upon what is in the game of basketball and put it in your game of NBA Live, and provide it to your gamer a high qualitative gaming experience, so they can come back and say, you know what, I love the way this game played last year, and if they continue to rebuild on this, I want to play it again. I want to play it again, and that's what you want. You don't want people to be pumped up by the trailer like they were for Live 16. You don't want them to be hyped up and looking at the beautiful Pro-Am presentation and looking at the graphical representation of the game and doing comparison of screenshots and people making theories about how the game is going to play just to have, Jahlil Okafor look like an Asian. You can't have that. So NBA Live has proven that they have the capacity. They have proven to themselves that there is a community that still wants this game to do well, and it's a large community. Okay, there are more NBA Live, enthusiasts out there than they believed. Okay, because when you look at how the game sold, in the past, I can see why they were a little bit disheartened. Like, is there a community that still exists that want us to do well? And based upon how people respond to their trailers and what they see, they know that there are people who really want them to do well. So I think now they just need to focus on making sure that they deliver what they say they're going to deliver to their basketball gaming community, and hold on to that standard for the multiple years to come. And they will be just fine. And for those of you who doubt whether or not, I love that Pro Hop. Those of you who doubt whether or not EA is going to make another brand, don't worry. It'll be foolish for EA to stop producing NBA Live games, because when you look at overall globalization and which game is doing fairly well internationally in the American market as it relates to sports, in comparison to baseball, which EA does not have a competitive brand in making an annual baseball game anymore. And then you have football and basketball, which are the three major sports in America. Globalization is effectively taking place in baseball, because they have a world tournament that occurs. You play against countries from all over the world in baseball. You play against countries all over the world in basketball. There's globalization and internationalization for those two sports. When it comes down to football, now, even though this is one of their primary money makers, they fail to reach that level of globalization. There is no Olympic sport for football. There is an Olympic sport for basketball. There's an Olympic sport for baseball, but not for football. So, EA cannot continue to bank off of just that Madden series as it relates to annual titles. They have to have more than one. Thank God for FIFA. They have effectively captured that market, but they don't want just that one egg in the basket as it relates to international titles, because PES is on the verge, just like NBA Live is on the verge. PES is on the verge. I don't know if you guys saw their trailer. If you look at PES, bruh, I'm just saying, I mean, just check it out. If you have not seen that PES trailer, and Shadow brought this, to my attention, like, bruh, that window of competition is narrowing. So EA has to continue to grind, and they have to continue to find ways to, look into, preserving many titles internationally as possible. They did lose their baseball title, which was the other, you know, which was the other international brand that people from a lot of places in the world love. I mean, it's not as international as soccer or as oh, I did not mean to take that shot. Oh, and win it anyway. Or as well, I think baseball is probably on the same level as basketball, but I think basketball has a step higher as far as it relates to globalization than baseball, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I haven't done my research on that yet. But I mean, when I look at basketball, I know my brother played overseas for a while. Okay, and he was getting offers from all over the world. Okay, he was getting offers from Venezuela to play overseas there. He was getting offers from Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait, out of all places, all right, Saudi Arabia, of getting offers from Turkey. There's basketball all over the world. So NBA Live is not going to give up, no matter how horribly they do. They're not going to give up on this brand. So you guys don't have to be nervous about that. Simply because of the globalization of that market. Yeah. You said there's a lot of people that already prefer PES over FIFA. Yup. PES improvement, I don't know. Yeah, look at the trailer. You look at the trailer in 1080p 60 frames per second, and you be adjusting yourself. Now, as much as I love FIFA, and I'm a casual soccer gamer, okay? Casual soccer gamer. Ooh, look at that block. Get out. Okay. Get it out. Okay, we're going to do this then. Okay, come on, come on. I'm going to fade on you. I'm going to fade on you. Splash. Game point. As much as I love soccer, and I'm a casual gamer as it relates to soccer, yeah, PS has made some significant improvements, and FIFA is a damn good game. It is the mainstay, kind of like how 2K is the mainstay for the basketball gaming community. But yeah, that window of competition is narrowing. It's impossible to keep that window open. Yeah, yeah, overseas, yeah, basketball is growing. Basketball is the internationalization of basketball, the globalization of basketball is effective. I mean, there's a passionate European base for that brand of gaming. I mean, that brand of American sport. Okay, very passionate. And it's going to expand throughout the world because it's in the Olympics. And then we have 3-on-3 basketball. So those are sports that you want to invest heavily in as it relates to development. If say, for example, if I was an executive for a sports video gaming company who was making a basketball brand, I'm going to do all I can to make sure that game continues to excel and do well so I can you make profit. Okay, love. I love you too. Mm. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, okay. Cool. So I was just talking to my wife. She's getting ready to go to class. I love my wife, and she made me a burrito, a protein burrito, which is awesome. Thank you guys for coming by to the stream, though. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversations. Mad love to you guys. It is your boy Swaggy P _ Lino, one of the members of the NBA Live movement, and of course, member of the NOVC as well. You want to subscribe to our YouTube channels, especially the NBA Live movement, EA Gamers. We got great content that will be broadcasted on that channel as it relates to NBA Live 18 and Madden 18. Shout out to my man Wesby502 and MWG Agent 44, who's going to be taking the helm on that. You're going to see them go hard on that particular game, and they might even motivate me to join their MUT Squad. I don't know, but we'll see. MUT Squad is going to be extraordinary this year. I was at EA Play, and that booth was lit for MUT Squad. I think you guys are going to enjoy that game mode the most, and I can't wait to see how that's going to be executed in the tournament, because I know that tournament will be coming. Beautiful game point there. Add the big three, and this is another consideration that I have already told the devs. As soon as I saw it, I said, yo, look, this is the wave. because Big Three is a phenomenal success with its initial presentation this year. If you have not seen it, it comes on every weekend on Fox Sports 1. They run plenty of replays. And these are old, senior veterans of the game who doesn't quite have the legs to do it the 5v5 full court game. So they go half court and they play games up to 50 and you have to win by two. And that is such a great concept. I love the fact that they have a 4-point shot in the game. I mean, there's so many ways you can execute this in the game, and I think this should be implemented in the structure of NBA Live 18 as a live event for the one. And that was the next consideration that I was going to talk about is how they're going to execute these live events in the one. And this is the great interconnectivity that can take place between NBA Live Mobile and NBA Live in the console space because there are live events. Okay, we just have to remember that there are live events. So I think if you can, find a way to implement that with your squad, run 3v3 with some type of Big Three presentation, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, it would be dope. We just have to wait and see if they can implement it. If they cannot implement it in the structure of the game this year of NBA Live 18, then they can implement it in the structure of the game for Live 19 for sure. And don't be discouraged if the competitor has it in their game already. NBA Live should still go after that because it's basketball. That's just the fact of the matter. It's basketball, so unless Ice Cube, just grant the rights to the competitor and don't allow anyone else to utilize that particular style of play in their video game, then so be it. To be honest, I hope another company just comes out with Big Three basketball. Yeah, Jermaine O'Neal, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf was killing as well in their initial games at the Big Three, so that was a phenomenal presentation. I mean, I like it. I enjoy watching it. It's funny, because it's going to give these veteran players an incentive to stay in shape because you can see how out of shape they are now. As it relates to, oh my gosh, come on, Dwight Howard, cut to the basket, as it relates to how they play. But it's still fun to see these veterans go at it competitively on a serious note. So, Big Three, great consideration there. I am all for it. Yes, sir. But anyway, how do you guys feel? Do you think we should be looking at sales numbers for NBA Live this year, or should we just be looking for overall quality? What do you think is the point of emphasis for EA this year? Hit me up in the chat, those of you that are here. How do you feel this game should be presented? What should be their evaluation point in determining the success of this product? You know what I mean? I doubt that happens, AY, but anyway, back to the question. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why I think they should still go after it because the fact of the matter is, they already have a Mountain Dew 3-on-3 tournament anyway. Yeah, so don't feel bad if that's already going to be implemented in the competitors' game. I wouldn't feel bad. I would still pursue it if they can get the right. If they could share the rights to it, then they should, by all means. But in this environment of competition, that's not going to be the case. It would be nice, but it most likely won't be the case. That's a beautiful lob pass to my man Dwight Howard. Yeah, so I want to hear from you guys. I know it's only probably 2 or 3 of you guys here, and that's probably my fault because I haven't had the time to stream for the past 3 days, and I'm hooking up with y'all, linking up with y'all, just saying what's up with y'all right before I go to work. After this, I will be showering up, getting ready to run that all-night shift. If you haven't seen the podcast of the NOVC, please do. It's a very good show, and I'm not saying that because I'm in it. It's just true. I think the quality will make it sell. Yes. AY, I have to agree with you, fam. That's where I am. If the game has to be represented high in its quality, and that's just the fact of the matter. And you are absolutely right. Curry, my man. Yep. Quality, but gamers will look at sales. Exactly. And that's not what we're looking at. Those of you who are mature in NBA Live evaluations ought to know we are not looking at sales. Okay, I completed all my objectives. We're going to go to sets here. I still got to play my man that's not head to head. I meant to do that later. That's what I do when I get down to my last three what's the word I'm looking for? Gosh. Stamina I always, go head to head just to finish it out. Quality gameplay will change a lot. Exactly. So spread the word, that EA just needs to focus on the quality of their product versus sales. Oh, they gave me two. I might have to do this again. I might have to keep doing this. Let me see if there's other ways I can utilize that. But yeah, let me get some summer breeze, make me feel fine. I'm gonna just work on getting my cred up because I already have an all elite team. I'm not really gonna go after that 99 right now. I really want to see what I can get in this cred. Oh, there goes Ingram. They actually gave me a player. Wow, they gave me a player. That's cool for half the price. I can work with that. You feel what I'm saying? I still got 17 hours before I can exchange this. Yeah, but I see you guys grinding here. Let's see what we got here. 4 or 7 there. So I'll probably pick that up tomorrow. 2 or 5 there. I did pick this up. You know, uh, got this here. 5,000. That's how I was able to pick up my 94 Bernard. Let's see here. Probably you do some of this later. But I'll be grinding some more tonight. But let me just show you the update of my squad before I go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys for stopping by. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I won't expect a lot of viewers because I've been gone for some while. It's all about consistency when it comes, not sets, I'm sorry, my team. It's all about consistency when it comes down to YouTube. And man, I'm gonna get better. It's just I got so many things going on in my life right now. I'm still grinding for that Iverson. Yes, sir. I am on the grind. My elites are stacking up, but not stacking up fast enough, so I will be grinding some more. Um, but my team is a 90 overall now, thanks to that 94 Bernard King upgrade. I did get the crit high enough to go ahead and upgrade them from 91 to 94. So I have no longer a 89 overall team, just a 90 overall team. Yo, started the grind for J Will last night. Not going to spend any cash though, so 91 is probably as high as I'm going to get them. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that for sure. Man, mad love to you guys. It's time for me to go ahead and iron up my scrubs, get ready to hit up this ICU, make sure my team is doing well. It's very difficult supervising, but it's all good. Mad love to you guys for coming by. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys on the next stream. I'll probably make a YouTube video talking about the consideration of how EA should evaluate the success of their product this year. Look out for that under my channel. I will be talking about that if somebody doesn't, somebody else is coming to this channel and hear what I'm saying and then produce a YouTube video out of that themselves. I don't care. I broadcast my ideas out there anyway. As long as it's mentioned, that's all that matters. But mad love to y'all. Thank you guys for stopping by. Until next time, love, peace, and here grease. I am out, y'all. One.